Hello, good morning, good evening, afternoon.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi
hello.
everyone. Is there anybody have to join or we can get start or we can wait for a couple of minutes to join somebody others? People are joining. You can wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Meanwhile, you guys can, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and what are the technology stack you guys are using and what are the exposure you have. Anybody? Welcome. Okay, now this I will tell myself. Myself, Devanshu, I am use the structure of Playwright Salesforce AI automation with Java. I'm teaching you guys. Let me. Can we start?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, perfect. You're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks for confirmation. I thought my voice is not touching.
No,
Okay.
no, it's always like, in these kind of calls, no one speaks and then you feel you're talking to the wall.
It's okay. We can make interactive sessions. No worries.
Yeah.
Guys, if you don't know anything or if you're stuck anywhere, let me know. We can learn and teach together. Yeah.
So
What do you
to
guys
start
how
with,
we
I
start?
have been working with Salesforce as an admin role, and my
Okay,
previous
great.
background was in testing as automation and manual. So, like automation wise, I have done QTP long back. I
Oh, very
have
great.
done
Guys, it is
Java
great.
as a developer,
Mm, mm,
and Selenium I just had some exposure with. But now, when I'm going again in the job market, I think Salesforce with some testing experience will be something which is a unique combination. So that's why I'm looking for some training
great,
just to
great.
get a
Good to
hands
hear.
on again. Yeah.
Yes, nowadays they all are migrating to automation approach with Playwright,
Yeah.
and
But
I am also seeing the lots of demands in the market.
but
Good decision in mind.
yeah, but is it Playwright is a Salesforce thing or it is a different software from other company altogether?
Playwright actually powered by Microsoft. It is
Mm-hmm.
not a Salesforce tool actually. It is independent of any platform, not specific to Salesforce. It is
Mm-hmm.
generic for all other platforms as well, and it will support mobile, web applications also.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions, you guys? Before I jump into the introduction and what are the contents we are covering, that I'll start today. Fine, I'll share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, like my large. Basically, this talks about what actually we are covering on the as part of the training. This is the Salesforce UI stands for User Interface and API Automation Mastery, and it is a 40 hours instructor levels training across 4 phases. The 4 pillars we are divided. One is about where have the background of Salesforce or non-background of Salesforce. We are teaching about Salesforce fundamentals and automation approach, how we can do. And we are explaining the programming language called Java. And nowadays trending is the AI, artificial intelligence for test training. Also, we are providing how to use the AI during the preparation of test cases, automations, codes, and strategies, and integrating of the CI/CD pipeline integration also for running the after you're pushing the code changes or committing the changes, automatically it will pick the job and start execution. And it is specifically designed for Salesforce admins and automation engineers are ready to build production grade hybrid frameworks or whoever are the background of the manual tester who are wanted to expand their career to automation. For those also it is helpful. And total hours of is 40 hours and 4 pages were divided and it will contain 12 models. I'll go to next slide. The phase one we have divided as a 10 hours for Salesforce UI and automation. It will cover under the model 1 to 3. And phase two we are doing for the API testing and how AI integration will be added to that. That will be we are taking as a 6 hours as the buffer and model 4 to 5 will be covered. And the phase three we are doing the framework implementation, DevOps and real-time project building. It will cover under 6 hours. It will take as a model 6 and 7. And phase 4 will be the Java and automation foundations we are taking. 8 hours should be the model 8 to 12. Here we can sometimes collaborating or sometimes changes will be interact happens based on the capability and the tool approaches. And as I mentioned earlier, it is a 40 hours instructor-led training and 100% hands-on sessions and 12 modules is there. One capstone project we are providing. And the first phase is the Salesforce fundamentals. On the Salesforce is the CRM platform, customer relationship management platform it will be, and it will support the different clouds like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, and Commerce Cloud, Health Cloud, B2B Cloud. These all the stuffs are there. We are considering major sales and service here as part of the training. And prior to automation, we need to understand the application better. If you understand the application better, we can automate which are the important business scenarios we have to automate or which we cannot automate. That we can predict and analyze. On that part, it will be help us. That is the reason first application understanding is the very important in the before automating anything. Automation anybody can do, but the problem is we have to cover the risk-based application once when it is a production, right? Defect leakage, the rate should be the always be less, and we have to remove the regression work for manual QA, running the same test case again and again. Those we need to reduce. That point we are going for automation. First, you have to understand the architecture, like as I mentioned, Salesforce is the multi-tenant cloud, and it is the metadata-driven platform actually. And Apex language used for preparation of the coding standards on the Salesforce end. And LWC used for the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Lightning Web Components used for the developing web pages. And it will be the database layer also in the MCP structure. And API also is provided. And the second stuff is the objects and fields. On the Salesforce, basically two types are there. One is about standard objects, which was provided by the means developed by the Salesforce itself only, like account, contact, lead, opportunities, campaigns. These are the standard objects. Custom objects, which are the developed by our internal team develop members or who have coding knowledge background, they are developing as per the customer requirements, which integrated with the standard objects also. They are providing the relationship with standard objects with the custom objects also. And different as types are there. Field types should be the like string, integer, double. Those all are the available as the field types in the Salesforce. And also and relationship we have master relationship, lookup relationship, and one to self lookup relationship and master detailed relationship we have on the Salesforce end. Data relationship basically talks about parent and child relationship. Master is the parent and child is the detail here. When we have deleted the master object related to the child record, detail records will automatically get deleted. That is the kind of master detail relationship that with example I will explain later also. High level I am telling you. Field level security in a high level terminology we are calling FLS. FLS means before updating any field, we need to fulfill certain criteria, then we can update. That approach on the field level security. And this is the concept Lightning and Classic. Lightning is the newer version with the high branded pages and looks and feel good, should be the very good with the amp launcher and home structure and channel approach and mobile view as well as tab view. And these things are the UI of the Lightning is currently what you guys are seeing the Salesforce. There is a more on Lightning on all our industry. And Classic is the earlier version. This is a single view of that approach. We can click and we can see the kind of the lengthy paper kind of. It's a Classic is the older version. And security model will be the profiles, role hierarchy, and multi-factor authentication handling and API security token. Profiles is the collection of permissions and settings like system admin profiles. Those have access fully and pledge access. And role hierarchy we are providing the as per the manager and contractor. That kind of role hierarchy they are provided in the Salesforce end. And API used for the invoking or processing the data from one point to another point. And security management also same thing. I'll go to the next slide. This is the architecture deep dive. As I mentioned, multi-tenant cloud infrastructure means it will contain sales, service, marketing, and health cloud. Everything is there, and we can use the all customers on the arc level. Arc have a different. There are four kinds of arcs on the Salesforce and developer, developer sandbox, developer pro edition, partial copy sandbox, and full copy sandbox like that. And usually tester will be, as per the testing point of view, use the full copy sandbox. Full copy sandbox is means of the production copy data, how the production area work will be works, right? That kind of will be data, metadata will be available on the full copy sandbox. And the arc will be created by the developers or the architect, which will provide it to the whole team members for testing, developmenting, and training purposes. And it is a shared infrastructure as well. And governor limits will talks about the limitation of the arc, which will set by the how many records we need to store and how many records we need to delete and what are the reporting purpose. Also we are using governor limits. And here we are following the SOQL query for the fetching the data from the Salesforce metadata and how many users are there, what is the criteria. For example, if I want to see the belongs to region called India, how many accounts are there, contacts are there, those all we can get to know on this SOQL query approach, where show all data we can do and fetch this SOQL query. And DML operations also we can perform. And as I mentioned, metadata-driven platform, it is a Salesforce, and every configuration payloads will be developed by the LWC components, and field definitions will be done by the object manager. Go to the particular object, and they are defining the field and relationships, and validations rules also they are defining. Yes, Anubhava.
What is DML?
Sorry,
What is DML?
DML is the data manipulation language. It is a Salesforce. How you are a SQL query you are doing now. Do you have any idea about SQL and these things?
Yeah, I have.
On that, we are querying the objects and fetching the data, right?
Yeah.
For that, they are using, in the example I'm telling you, DML stands for data manipulation language, refer to setup operations, like modify the data on our database, and it allows us to be insert the data, which are not there, and update the data or upsert, and delete the data also, and undelete and merge the records also automatically.
In
Insert,
Salesforce. In Salesforce.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So does that mean that if you change
If you
anything in the
change anything
database,
in the database,
then it
then it
will
will.
I'm
I'm
getting
getting
echo.
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 For me also getting echo. I don't know. It is.
Okay.
You can
So
go ahead now.
yeah. So whenever if I'm doing something in the database, if I'm changing something in the database, then it will be reflected back in the Salesforce. Does it mean that?
Yes, it will be updated. In the quick manner, I will show you with one example very quickly.
Okay, thank you.
For example, high level, there is the account object you can consider. Okay. On the account object, variable called new account. Okay. On the new account. The name of the account which are present on the Salesforce called ACME Corporation. Here, what we are doing, insert operation we are doing of this one, new account. Under here, basically what we are updating now, taking this as a variable as the one dot phone is the field. Okay, here we are updating some numbers, something like this, and update to new account. Here DML operation will perform. Go to this particular account and the phone field will be updated with this value. I hope I answered your question. It is clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No worries. Is there any other questions, guys, you have?
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Mhm.
Normally, this is where you are using object-oriented language and then trying to do the insert or update. Are we going to cover this data loader and data import wizards, which are like, where you can just upload massive data into Salesforce when you want to do some performance testing? Like you can go for like thousands and thousands of records. Are we covering that?
Sorry, we are not covering. That is the performance testing point of view only.
Okay.
And if you want to do that,
Mhm.
the Playwright tool, that many kind of data won't support, I guess.
It won't
But I will
support them.
research. Yes, best of my knowledge, it won't support. That is the reason we are using the performance for
Okay.
validating the capacity of the load of the data.
So
But
Playwright will be
one
more
or
into the functionality testing. That's what you mean to say?
not a functional testing, it is a performance. It is because the data you mentioned, data load is the bulk of the data we are migration, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
one or two records.
Yeah.
It will be around 10,000. We are inserting in the single time.
Mm.
How the application will be response for that?
Okay.
Means at a time all over the world, 10,000 records will be created.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is the performance scenario best of.
Okay. So my question is this Playwright tool is only limited for functionality testing and not for the performance testing. Am I getting it right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I have a
Okay,
question.
okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, so we are using Java. Is it because Apex used in Salesforce? That is why we are using Java, not TypeScript or JavaScript in Playwright.
Good question. Yeah, thanks for bringing that. Not dependent on Apex language. It is actually any language we guys are use JavaScript, TypeScript, or you can use any other languages also. It doesn't dependent. As part of this training, we have selected as a Java language foundational. That is the reason we are going with the Java only. And for your question, you can try with any other language. It doesn't dependent. We can automate with JavaScript also, TypeScript also, and Java also on Salesforce. Both are different. Apex, it is not dependent.
So in this course, will you be giving an introduction with Java language?
Yes, Java we are covering on this one, right?
Yeah. And then which Salesforce are we using for our course here?
Sales Cloud I have picked, Service Cloud I have picked. Actually, sales and service I am planning to cover with one capstone project, like lead to one's basic on the sales process, right? When you go to
Mm.
the campaigns, getting the leads, once the lead get converted, account contact opportunities will created, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one flow,
yeah,
and on the service end, one case creation part.
yeah. So is it free for us, that Salesforce module, that one, so that we can practice at home?
Sorry, come again.
I mean, we will also have to create the lead and opportunity and everything to practice
Mm.
at home. I would like that. So I'm asking, is it free for us?
30-day free version, we'll get it on developer sandbox edition. That we
Okay.
can try.
Mm. Okay, okay. Thank you.
If it is expired, then we can create one dummy email account again, then try with that account for learning purposes. Okay.
I have a question related to MFA. Okay. So suppose we have enabled MFA in Salesforce. So while doing that automation, is it possible to cover that one also, MFA also, to bypass that MFA?
Which one?
No, you have mentioned that, okay, Salesforce, in the previous slide, you have mentioned that multi-factor authentication, right? Suppose
Yes,
I have
right.
enabled the multi-factor authentication in Salesforce. In that
Mm,
case, we will be getting that authorization code into email, or it will be coming to our mobile. So,
mm.
suppose if you want to automate that functionality,
Mm.
so will it possible, or how will we doing that one?
Usually on the real-time industrial practice, we guys are not using that. What we basically using, we are setting the IP ranges on the Salesforce end. Then once you have set the IP ranges, just an example. For example, if you go to any fresh browser, you are entering your username and password now, then your verification code will get it for first time. For that, manually you are updating verification code. But for automation point of view, every time it will be opening the fresh browser, right? We are doing that blocking up that proxy. Means verification code we are not getting. That IP range we are setting. But on your question, on real time, we are not doing the automation for that, because on the bunches of the mail, sometimes we are getting and sometimes we are not getting, right. That kind of stability is not there. That is the reason we are not doing the multi-factor authentication automation here.
No.
Got your point, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, guys? Yeah. Okay. I'll take a test now. Metadata driven we have done, and database layer organization. On the data cloud, we are getting the data from here. And API bus design, which is done by the developers, moreover designing the APIs. And it will support both REST, SOAP, and streaming API, all those stuffs. And I'll go to the standard objects and custom objects. As I mentioned, standard objects are the built-in by the order by the Salesforce only. Any arg will open, right? By default, these accounts contact, lead, opportunity, case, and product. Some of the objects will be already there on the Salesforce end, and their API names are always be stable and well documented on the document.salesforce.com. And learning platform is a Salesforce.com, where you can learn, and developer org editions and some communities also support you for what it is and how it will be there. And for understanding purpose, the doctor.salesforce.com is the best you can try. And for learning, trailhead.salesforce.com, you guys can go ahead. And other is custom objects. Custom objects is based on the real-time customer requirements and user-defined requirements also we call it as. For that, our internal Scrum team will be develop those objects and create the fields and relationships, all those things on the existing Salesforce standard objects. They are providing the relationship also for that. And identification of the custom object should be the underscore hyphen C, which is significantly, which was the custom object field, which was developed by our internal Scrum team or whoever developer. It is not powered by the Salesforce team. In the managed packages also, always it will be underscore C. This is the specific of the identification. And object metadata differences. Standard fields are name, email, like that. From custom fields, we are creating our own custom business logic, whatever the requirements is there, right? Based on that, we are creating these custom fields and system managed update and FLS fields as well. And object management settings, the setup menu object manager provided field, API names and data types, quick list values. These object management settings where you can get it now on the Salesforce. And if you have some background on that, on the setup, if you go to the object manager, you have to find the list of objects in the org. You have to open any objects, then you are seeing the type of the fields and relationships, lightning record pages, and all the details related to the object and formula fields, quick list values. Those I will show you once the developer org will be created later on the tomorrow or some other day. And these are the fields and relationship and field level security on the Salesforce, and it will be. And the data types variations is the lookup field, which will be search field for search and select the interaction. And here we have some keywords we are entering in the one drop down. The list of should be the detail should be shown. It is not a drop down field, it is a search field. And pick list values will be the drop down. We are selecting values from the pick list, and checkboxes will be yes or no. The boolean and true or false it will be, and formula field will be read only field. We cannot modify those. Those formula field will be updated when the certain criteria met. For example, date should be the difference between the date is the 60 days. This value needs to show. Difference between date will be 15 days. This value will be show. That kind of formula it will be do. And master detail relationship, as I mentioned earlier, it is the master is the parent, detail is the child. Having the relationship between parent and child relationship. When the child will be record deleted, master won't impact. If the master deleted, means parent deleted, related data records will be deleted. This is the one approach. And FLS we are set for the restriction of the user. For example, if you open any contact record or account record, for contact is the person, name is the mandatory. And for recognition of contact, phone number is also mandatory. Without entering the name, phone, and email kind of fields, if you click on save, then you will get the one pop-up message. Doesn't allow to user to save because you have to enter these many fields. This is the field level security they have provided in the Salesforce. And relationship travels also when you are querying the parent field value from child record, right? Then you are writing the SQL query like contact.account.name. It will be automatically paste the query, then show the related details, which are the account and contact relationship. And some of the fields like required and optional, as I mentioned earlier, right? For contact, name, email, phone as the required fields. Those mandatory user need to fill and click on save. Optional, the if user want to wish to fill, they can fill. Otherwise, they can pause as right now and they can save the record. And after that also they can fill and do according to their business requirements. And this is the Lightning versus classic UI architecture I have mentioned. Right now, we are all over the globe. We are using the more or projects run on the Lightning only. The classic is the older version. The user friendly is the Lightning, and the Lightning we have Omni Studio, Omni Channel is there, and show our data we can do, and app launcher is there, and we can traverse multiple apps also on the Lightning approach. And classic is a single paper kind of page. It is with lengthy pages. We need to scroll up every time. We have to go for each and traverse different objects by clicking on the top of that down. Then only you can get to those. It is a older version of the classic. And the next, profiles, rules, and multi-factor FMP in automation. Profile is the collection of permissions and settings. which is define the object level like CRUD operations. CRUD operations stands for C for create, read, update, and delete the permissions for specific users. By default on the Salesforce end, system admin have access to all the operations like create, read, update, and delete the records. And if you doesn't have access to see the records or delete, update, right? Particular profiles like support, sales user, or marketing user. Then if you click on that, then you'll get the insufficient access errors. In API kind of, you will get the messages. And MFA authentication used for org authentication, like OTP based or IAM OTP based. Usually after they are using moreover, enroll with MFA after, and they will get the code or they will get the call. For that code will be getting, then entering the code, and we are entering into the Salesforce and role hierarchy will be the defining the roles. For example, person having the manager role or VP level role or CTO level, they have seen the visibility will be the different. With the tech person having the visibility will be the different. It should be the control the role for the users level access restriction. The user to doesn't extend the all users doesn't have all access based on the license and based on the user level. The role will be defined segregation of the visibility of the records and the details and environments. And security tokens is the API point of view, and setting the IP address as I mentioned outside the host, right? Once we set the IP address for our IP range, we have don't get the verification code every time. Automatically it will fetch and start the automation approach. And this is the Salesforce automation Playwright I'm doing. In the model 2, first you have to log in the session and record the operations and component interaction. We have to take export and those things how we can interact with UI elements. And after that, once we prepare the script or automation, right, then we have to assertions and reporting part. Assertions means we are validation checkpoint. It will be after record created successfully or not, the value will be displaying or not, created record is right or not. Once the execution is completed, we are doing the reporting part. What are the test cases are found, how many test cases are passed, we can identify on the reporting. I'll go to next slide. Salesforce login automation, custom domain writing. Usually the most of you saw the Salesforce URL, right? This is the protocol of HTTP hypertext transfer protocol. S will stand for security. Security S means we have to enter username and password. Then only we enter into the system. Without entering username and password, we cannot enter into the system. That is the URL approach it is. This is the domain of the my company they are talking about. Depend on project. For example, is the ABC project, abc.lightning.force.com it will be. For example, it is a banking project. Name of that URL will be modified. Not for all the URL will be not should be the same. Always should be unique. And login.salesforce will be the production environment URL always, and test.salesforce.com will be the testing purposes, and dev.salesforce will be the development purposes they are using. And handling my MFA challenges. Sometimes once we enter username and password, we are sometimes you are getting the code, sometimes you won't get the code. For that, we need to explicitly enable the email subscription or enable the email approach on the Salesforce and backend. And session state rescue means storage state. The insertion of data or bulk data where insertion, right? That time they are using about the storage state capacity also and API capture. And landing page verification after entering the username and password, on which console we are on the sales console or service console, that we have to validate before doing anything. If you are on the sales console, then we are clicking on the campaign, lead, and those things. We are assert that page where we are and how we are. For that landing page verification we are doing. And pick list and lookup field automation. And as I mentioned, the Salesforce has standard pick list selections also. They are using the select inputs, and as standard Salesforce pick list options, they are using the select option on lightning page pick list. It will show about the how the pick list value you have to select, and lookup will be the search for the option. How we are searching the elements on that lookup, right? For that lookup data type they are using for search field creation, and multi-select pick list will also data type. For that, they are using the available panel and chosen panel for move or remove button. There is a multi-select pick list should be the rectangular box like this. List of the fields here. Once you are clicking on the arrow right side and left side here, we have to select the values from left to right and right to left. That is the multi-select quick list. Once the arc is ready, I'll show you these all the fields quick list and multi-select also. Dynamic lookup also search field, it will be automatically showing some details, and recent record drop down on the account you will open. Recently viewed page will be showing whichever the record you will saw the recently, right? Those will be available on this recent select records drop down. Top to bottom will showing. You can shuffle or sort also based on creation date or name, alphabetic order also you can do, and put the filter also for this. And dynamic lighting component interactions is lighting data tables are there, and the rows and data tables using text-based cell selectors, and model dialog interactions also there. There is a pop-up on the top will coming and side will also coming, and tabbed view navigation also we can do on the selection of any app or console, right? The view of the tab should be the different, and dynamic order resolution. Once the record will be generated, right? On the auto generated ID will be generated. For example, account 23 were created. If I created account 24, it will tell like auto number. The record will be created with this auto number field. The success message will be shown. The record will be customized, done by the developer with the record ID. On the DOM structure, we have validated that success message also. What is the record and those things. And toast message validations, which is the means, for example, we are entering first name, last name, and email ID. Once we click on the save on the record, right? The account record created successfully, read record converted successfully. That kind of success message we are getting, right? For validating those success messages, we need to wait for some time. So for getting that reflection of data from going to the database and getting the success, that we have to wait for certain period of time, and we can validate that capture of the success message. And we have to extract the text content also. We have to validate the partial data starts with or ends with and contains these. For example, account contains this name, only paste that and click on that. Like kind of extraction also we can do. And error toast inspection. For example, we are entering the wrong data and we click on save the record. That time we are getting the error message. Take it an example as per this slide. We have selected as the date of birth should be the future date and the current date will be the past date. At the time, illogical scenario, it doesn't make sense. Then error toast message will be applicable and the field level. We are getting that kind of also we are validating as per the testing point of view. And once we got the alert also like cancel or save, those also we can dismiss. And this is the lead and opportunity lifecycle testing, what I mentioned, right? One floor. Once we go to the campaigns and we are getting the interested persons like a prospects, once the lead is created, after we are filling certain details, once lead will be converted, account contact opportunity will be created. Those details we are validating. And once the account contact and these things will created, those record details, whatever the details you entered in the lead, those should be populated right or wrong, those we can. And on the opportunity, we have to certain stages we have to make. Once it is a closed one, then we can add the product. Then the business will be end for a billable point of view. That opportunity stage transmission also we can cover, and converting records via UI we can do. Once the lead will be created, we can do the lead success path also there. We can fully S5, S9, S10, then lead converted successfully. That also we can do the automation point of view, lead scenarios. And data-driven framework design, which means we are not doing the hard coded. We are storing the data somewhere else. We can read the data from there, like configuration, utilities, data, test layers. While designing the framework, we are generally consider all these principles and approaches. And model will be means n sections on a single page. It means account page we are creating the one account page object model dot Java class file. For contact we are creating on contact dot Java. For lead also same thing. And data handling means we are reading the data from Excel via Apache file package and JSON parsing and parameterization also approach we are doing. Same test cases run with them different set of the data we are doing. And reporting part we are doing the exchange report and screenshots also we can take and dashboards also. And here you are designed hybrid framing for architecture. Earlier slide has shown the component-based design and combining UI and some API workflows also, or API separate we can do, and configurability controls also we can do, and scalability standard also you can maintain like execution control over the XML file, and POM-based approach also we can do, and read the data in Excel sheet and writing the single test class that we can cover. And this is a Java concept and encapsulation phase elements, data and code binding together and showing the functionality to the customer. Yes, Ravi, go ahead.
In the framework, whatever you're talking, right? How you're going to handle dynamic XPath actually in Salesforce? That is the big challenge, right? To do the automation.
For handling the dynamic XPath, we are using the
Yeah.
XPath access, like starts with, ends with, or following sibling, preceding sibling, contains. Those
Yeah,
we
that
need
I know
to
that.
use.
Only challenge we are seeing, right? Selenium, using Selenium. If you run script like 3-4 times continuously, sometime it will not recognize the XPath whenever we developed. Is there any particularly handling for Playwright to handle the dynamic XPath like without interrupting? One time it passing, and second, for example, if any Salesforce operation is happens, releases, right? So at the time it will impact. So the XPath is changing automatically. So at the time it will get error, right, in Selenium. The Playwright is overcome that experience if you use this tool.
Yeah, Ravi. On the tool point of view, we cannot overcome that. For that XPath point of view only, we can take that decision. Like for example, account name is the field. There are two account names basically on the same field. Always the tool will pick first one only. That time what we can do, I will show example. This one, this third.
We can log in as a SSO also, single sign-on, without giving username, password. Is it possible, right, to do automation?
Yes, so is it possible? But authentication is required on this one app itself. That is one challenging we have. If we can in the backend setup point of view, if we configured SSO, type it in that time we can do that. For example, here is the username is there, password is there, and these are the things. Just I am doing the example username here.
Okay.
You can take it as username is this is the one constant always. You can take this as username, label equal to username.
Yeah, I know that. That single sign-on. Now I saw the releases, summer release. This releases they're enabling for all the lower sandboxes SSO.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Not the
What you
user
can
ID
do
password.
here, you can just do like this is the div is there, not tag. This div tag is belongs to this is the label actually. What we can do, we have to enter the input field here. This is the input is the field of the text. Here we need to enter the data, right? For that, what you can do, basically, what is the parent of this one? You can go here. This is the not a it is a parent of container only, not entire page. If you go here, this is the entire. You can take this the div as the reference. This parent you can traverse here. Okay. Anytime it will be changes, it won't impact.
That's great. Yeah, we'll do practical. Yeah.
Yes. Just little fails, but we have to trial and error. We need to do at production also. It will go. Sometimes ID will be changes. You have to change, but initial stage to compare to end stage, it will be some different.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, one more person I saw the raise the hand. Any other question?
Yeah, I have a question. So
Please.
are we going to do end-to-end testing here?
Means end to end.
Are we going to write the test cases for Salesforce and use those test cases in Playwright end-to-end?
End to end means what kind of scenario we're talking?
Like
Just I
from
get to know. For example, as I mentioned, a lead account contact opportunity flow. That is one end to end flow.
Okay, so we have different scenarios for
Yeah,
end-to-end.
depends on scenarios. It will be right.
So are we going to cover all those scenarios here?
As part of training, we are covering lead life cycle 1. That one we are covering, and if time permits, service case related activity we can do.
Okay.
If you have any specific scenarios, please post to me or reach out to me. I'll try to help you guys. And I will let you know these kinds of scenarios you can automate and this kind we cannot automate.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Okay.
One more thing, the framework, right? We are going to develop scratch, right, while training.
Yeah, we are doing the scratch, but after that, if anything, our dependency or those are missing, then ready-made framework will provide you the how the designed way is there, right? I'll fix those all the challenges on the same framework and I'll provide you guys GitHub or one rare file or zip file. I'll provide you if you extract and if you put it on your local machine, it will works.
Okay, it's a hybrid framework. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll take it as no. I'll go to next slide. The subject model we have covered. On the page object model, we are creating the each and web pages, account, contact, and lead. For that, every page we are covering the lead.java and account.java kind of we are designing. And reading the data, as I mentioned, Excel and JSON data handling. This is the approach called data-driven approach. We are exercising the same username and login to the application, right? Entering the username and password. We are not doing the hard-coded. With the data-driven approach on the Excel sheet, if you provided username and password with the 10 users, it will automatically fetch, read the Excel sheet and enter the username and password and log into the system. And parameterize we are using for data-driven approach for parameterizing the test cases. And on the test engine data provider annotations we are using for external data source to test method from other class or from data provider we are passing the data. And for reading the Excel and JSON, then we are exercise the same test method with different set of the data, and JSON file also we can use if there. And keypair value configurations on the property files like a browser equal Chrome we need to execute, and URL should be the test URL, and username and password we can do. And the property file how we can recognition is dot properties is the keyword for recognition of the properties file. And the same suite we can run against the different environments like dev, QA, and UAT, and production sandbox also. Usually production we are not running because the dummy data will be created and data will be the mass data will be created. It will impact the real-time production business and business users also. Usually we are doing QA and UAT every time. And environment switching also and config reader utilities class also we are doing. And for runtime, we are setting the parameters like environment is UAT, QA, like that dynamically it will fetch and start execution on environment setting. And extend report also we are doing. And this is the test ng annotations before suite, before test, before method, before class, and etc. test, after suite, after method, after test. These are the test ng annotations. which will signifies which test method will be executed first, which will be executed later. Kind of segregation will be control over, which will provided by the TestNG framework. These all the annotations, and the reporting part also covered by the TestNG. Basically, to provide HTML report, and the pass, fail, and info and skip. These details we have provided on the step levels, and dashboard summary generation. This is the excellent HTML report. Once it is generated, now if you open that, it will shows the how many test cases pass, fail, and skip percentage also it is showing. And API testing, we are doing the API testing also, and enabling faster and dynamic validations for API, and foundation and approach of the hybrid frameworks. Setup layer using API calls, and different methods are available in the API. Those are like HTTP request we are providing. Get method will get the details from the database or Salesforce and metadata, and post will be create the new records, and patch will be updating the existing records as I shown earlier in the account phone number will be update, creation of update, and delete will be remove the operations of that record, which will be the CURD operations. We call it as in general, and status code validation. Every API response we got, right? Then we must validate the processing of the body, like 200 is okay, confirm successful. 201 is the created. 204 is the no content. These are the general API messages, not dependent on Salesforce. In general, common language API we are using day-to-day our practices. And JSON payload structure, once we send the data, once record is created, we got the response, right? Then that payload structure also we can validate how the error code and what is the record is created and how many that, and Salesforce endpoint patterns also if required, we can validate those. And API automation using Playwright front of you. The request context creation. This is the keyword called new context with the base URL you are passing, the Harpoon configure that will share all API calls with the session. Automatically session cookie and bearer tokens, it will be creation of the records on the Salesforce side. And we have the different methods as I mentioned on the HTTP methods, get, post, patch, and delete. These methods will be the workbase of the HTTPS, and it will create the records, post, and update. And response body JSON we are validating, and schema validation also we are doing. And AI powered automation engineering. On day-to-day nowadays, we are using the AI tools for preparation of the test data, preparation of the requirements and test cases, for converting the requirements and prepare the DOM structures, and coding how we can do. And the Git your Cloud AI is there, and our prompt engineering, what are the parameters we have to for asking any questions. Those and debug purpose also we can use AI, and refactoring the code after we created everything, and restructure is required according to coding standard, that we can do with the AI. And self-healing mechanism is one example. For example, on the Salesforce, and after enter username and password, right now is showing the login to sandbox. On the future, if they are make it as sign into sandbox, right? Automatically the tool will understand this is the login button only, and it will enter and go to the execution, proceed further. No need to stop on the particular point, only text or braces changes. This also we can cover in the self-healing mechanism, and how to use a ChatGPT and Claude for script generation. What are the parameters, and how we can convert with the tool, and or how we can do the use cases we can prepare on the Salesforce point of view. At high level we can do. And day-to-day we are guys, you and us also following using the AI tools for generating up Playwright scripts and everything. And self-healing locators and AI debugging, as I mentioned earlier, sign in button. That is one example. Same thing wherever it is required, automatical tool will understand and start taking that and clicking on that and proceed execution further. And we can refactoring, and wherever test case will be faced due to flakiness, that we can also cover later stages. I think we are end up the 1 minute only left. You guys have any question till that slides, let me know. I'll cover model 6 tomorrow.
Devansh, actually Playwright is the tool, right? We need to install in our system.
Yes, we need to do.
Are you using any Eclipse, or this like is separate one?
FPC you can use, or IntelliJ IDEA also we can use. Visual Studio Code also we can use. That setup process and installation.
Which one are
I'll
you
show
planning to
you
use?
guys.
Which one are you planning to use in
I'm
this course?
I am planning to use Eclipse or IntelliJ. I'll check and compatibility.
So are we using Eclipse here?
I'm planning to do Eclipse or
Okay.
IntelliJ.
And are we starting this course from tomorrow?
Tomorrow some slides for introduction is there and setup process and some other practice I'll try to start tomorrow. If the introduction ends and you guys don't have any questions, then we can start.
So is it from tomorrow?
Devansh, are you going to start first Java basics?
Yes, I'm planning to start
Okay.
Java basics, right?
Oops, concept first, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because for fundamentals, once we got understand, then
Yeah,
we
yeah, that's
can
what I'm
start.
thinking. Like oops concept is
Yes,
most important while going to framework. First you understand
right,
Java.
right,
Okay.
What will be the timing of the classes if we want to enroll for this class?
Indian timing is 8 to 9.
So
I
8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
8 to 9 p.m. is right.
That's fixed Devan's timing. There's a we planning to take morning one.
Voice is echoing. I didn't got what I asked.
No, no, I'm telling is the time is fixed or are you going to take the morning classes?
Right now we're fixed for 8 to 9.
Okay. Because yeah, that's fine. But the morning, if morning is good for us.
Okay. Let's talk with the
Yeah. If joining all the
central.
people take the
Yes, yes. For all people
comfortable.
opinion, we are
For
Yeah.
me, this is the perfect time because I am currently in UK. So this is if I enroll, I will be going for this batch only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me as
me
well.
as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we don't have any questions, I guess. If you have any questions,
So
suppose
what is
then
so
yes, yes, go ahead.
what will be the next step from here? Are we going to start tomorrow, and before that we have to register?
Tomorrow has some more slides up there. Those slides I will explain. And planning to I will explain tomorrow is installation. Which tool we have to start now? That I am planning to installation. I'm planning to thinking. So many topics are there tomorrow. Like I'll give the insights in the quickly what all tomorrow to cover. Hybrid framework, how we can constructing that I am covering, and how to playwright and test engine integrations. High level I'm doing, and a CI/CD process quickly, and Git version controls, and browser and context and page what it will be means on the playwright. And these are the mechanism of how to wait, click, and what are the options available on the playwright for handling these things. And engine and architecture I will explain tomorrow. And core Java fundamentals also. Before going to, I'll give the sites and what are the scenarios and these many things. And what is the outcome you guys will get. And if time permits, so tool installation, I will let you know.
So the course is officially starting from tomorrow if we enroll for it.
Yes, right.
Okay, okay. So like you will ask us to
But you can
pay.
double check with that install
Yes.
that person where the coordinator is there, right? You can talk with them also if you have any question.
Okay, perfect.
And this course for how many weeks?
So your voice is echoing.
Uh, can you hear me now?
You can go ahead. I will mute.
Yeah. This course, is it for how many weeks?
It is for 40 hours
40 hours. Okay.
every day, Monday to Friday, 1 hour. Weekly 5 days it will be. Do you have any other questions, guys? If not, we can wind up. Okay, I'll take it as no. Great. Yeah, can meet tomorrow. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Have a
day.
nice day. And
Thank you
bye.
so much.